Alrighty. I don't want to do camera. Nah, no camera. Chill time. Alright, so I did a few off stream today. I thought about watching some movies. I lost track of time because I was super tired. Not sleep much. Purposely. Get my sleep schedule back to VGA time, which is tomorrow. So yeah, I did these. It was pretty neat. We got out to the desert, do a kind of an ancient statue. I'm not doing camera. I'm chilling, bro. Real tomorrow. Today's the 7th. The 8th is 3GAs. So in 26 and a half hours it starts. But I'm going to start the stream like an hour early because they have pre-shows usually. So I'll probably start around 5:30, maybe 6 if there's no pre-show. It's 6:30 might be the pre-show. I want to start like 30 minutes early. The actual content. No, did I meant to say, sorry, I meant to say 38 hours or whatever. At 6:30 p.m. It's 6:30 p.m., dude. On the 8th. Son of a bitch, man. Yeah, these are the ones I did off stream. Can't really go into them. Kind of weird. I have to replay them. Look, dude, my sense of time is all off. I looked at, I saw 4:12 and I was like, oh yeah, 26. I'm like, wait a second. It's at night. Look, dude, I was like napping all today. But yeah, no, it's in the evening. I'm sure it'll last for a good 5 or 6 hours or something. Who knows? It usually lasts for at least 3 or 4. Get mapping. Is this an accidental naps, man? I was just watching shit and super tired. Anyways, I checked out how many missions are left, and it actually was just this last one. Because I was curious, because I didn't want to do the last one off stream or something. So anyways, yeah, this was an ancient Egyptian thing, plane, another monument, big boat, and then this was actually a UFO. It like turns into a UFO, which is pretty cute. Yeah, I need to sleep by... I'd like to sleep in like 4 hours or so. But as long as I get like 7 before the VGs, it's fine. Doesn't really matter as much today as long as I don't stay up super late. I just want to be extremely awake. The discussion. Some of these news events, man, I've woken up like, you know, after being asleep for like an hour, and it definitely is not the best conversation. Anyways, let's go get started on this last one. I'm not gonna do all the challenge ones. I walked through the maps; they're pretty cool, but I've enjoyed this game. But I think this is I'll be good after this for sure. I'll have almost like 30 to 40 hours, or almost 40. So we got a big old temple. Oh yeah, it's the boat cleaned. The king of the gnomes. Oh, the volcano's going off. Yeah, but I've been worshiping over like weeks just for a little chill off stream stuff or chill talk on stream. The soup? What kind of soup, dude? So this is the new nozzle I have. It's like 3 super strong ones in a row. I've actually just been using this almost exclusively. So all the cats were in the marina. I think the alien said something about the end of the world or something. Because this volcano goes off and it's going to be a chain reaction or some shit. And they're trying to stop it. Something like that. This temple, I imagine, has got something to do with it. I mean, I'm not like too jacked into the story. Yeah, I thought about doing Metal Hellsinger, but I think when the donut place opens, I'm gonna go get some biscuits and gravy. Maybe I'll come back and rip his round to a little Dark Tide. Not, I think I'm just gonna chill. And then tomorrow, I'll either start Monkey Island, Metal Hellsinger, or we'll do like some movies. I've been gaming pretty hard the last few days, so wouldn't mind just these 2 days before get a bunch of shit like Splatoon and all that to be a bit more chillax. Still gaming though, and watching gaming. You gonna be up for the VGAs, Goto? I assume you will. Not a crazy time or nothing. Probably. No, 6:30 p.m. Unless I read Jeff's thing wrong. Be up for Phonotopia when we get a nice like, week. Mm-hmm. Probably. I'm imagining. Depending. It depends on Dragon Quest. Dragon Quest ends up not being worth playing. The new one. We'll do it during when that would be. So in like a week. If we think it is worth playing, then Crisis Core will be right after. So we would do it after Crisis Core. So it'll be in a couple weeks. I don't think it's gonna be shit. I mean, it looks like it's just comfy exploration. What's up, Lassie? Even clean shit. Not very good. Gonna do this one. More risk damage, but only one mission. Little circles with this one's business. Engine music. Let's see what we get. Just all random. Like way too close. Yeah. Why does it suck, brother? Busy or people? I'd just rather be home. Yeah, the dwarfs, man. I was hoping that'd be part of it. Fucking dwarfs. I'm looking forward to messing with that. It's on sale someday. What's up, son? Oh, it sucks about the stomach pain, man. I know all about that shit. Well versed. Stomach pain. Yeah, I'd imagine it's something you ate. Unless you just have like shit for a while or something. Your body might be having a Lord help me situation. No, yeah, at least you're at home. Public shitters when you got like a fucking crazy stomach ache. Bad news. Hopefully it doesn't take so much time out of your day that you gotta work more. That's bad enough, man. I'm out of commission for a while. Yeah. Gotta be able to do that. What treatment, go to? I treat you good, man. Treat you too good, man. The treatment I get. You gonna watch some movies tomorrow, Goto? If I play some? The VJs are on. How about tonight? The theoretical tomorrow. Yeah, it's a good song. How about in the evening tonight? I think we might watch Falling Down. They make no goddamn sense. Look, Goto treats me poorly. Treating him like a saint. And this is the treatment I get in return. Yeah. We all know it. the wrist destroyer. As I do like gentle back and forth, it's fine. Oh, it should. As long as I've known Gato, he's always staying for his treatment here. Completely unfounded, of course. Large pyramid. I walk up the side. Oh, okay, nice. I don't know what it is. I just cleaned off a UFO not too long ago. And the volcanoes are supposed to, like, be chained together. That if one goes off, or this one goes off, they all go off and the world ends or something. I'm imagining this has something to do with all that. The aliens are the good guys. They pretended to be an RV. They got shot down by something. I'm thinking it's the mayor because or somebody, because there's a fucking plane with a laser gun that we cleaned. I don't know if we do. I'm assuming it's gonna be that way. I don't know what the lore was on it. Honestly, I've not been like fully jacked into it. I think saving the aliens was what saves the world. But there must be something here too. Just kind of here doing it, to be honest. Gonna need to get higher to be able to get all this ornate stuff cleaned off. Oh well, that's good. Yeah, I need to. I know I like it. But I told the folks we'd watch Falling Down or something tomorrow. You might like that, we'll see. I haven't seen it, so I don't know. What was the general idea of Marduk Scramble anyways, other than shooting? It's a movie. You have to know every movie you're gonna watch. Where's the surprise, man? This shitty bullshit. Oh, that sounds perfect. Revived into a badass. There you go. Either gonna do falling down, enemy, Donnie Darko, or maybe all three, or maybe something totally different. That's kind of the current thought. I thought about watching the new JoJo season today after I was done with this, but I don't know. It's pretty long, and I'll probably want to binge it. A lot of it. I don't know if this is really the time. Guess I might see if Ripper wants to do Dark Tide in a bit after I get some food. The rest of this place will probably take like another hour, I'd imagine. It's a pretty large wash. I didn't really use the circular one. What was it? I don't even think I have it on this. I didn't find that one terribly useful, but this thing, man. Just 3 super ones right next to each other. I mean, it pretty much gets off any gun. It's not super wide, but I'll have to do a bit more mouse work, but it's pretty good. Who's this? Are you an alien? Worse, this dirty bastard. Hypothetically, PowerWash Simulator 2, what's it look like? Probably more crazy shit. You know, I'm doing UFOs and, you know, statues and crazy shit in this and ancient temples, but, you know, more stuff like that. Obviously, more crazy shit like this nozzle. More moving parts. There's a Ferris wheel where you could sit in the Ferris wheel and clean. Something that plays with that kind of shit. Yeah, that's the dream, like really wild. Yeah, put some Star Trek in there, get some just crazier levels, honestly. I think you add a few more different types of cleaning mechanics. Because you cap out on those pretty quick. Obviously, some more upgrades. This game runs out of upgrades pretty quick, like halfway in. But other than that, I mean, it's a concept for people who just like it, so they don't need to change a whole lot. Yeah, there's co-op in this one, but yeah, this is like in the middle ground, right? Where it's like kind of sim, but then it's like obviously I've got like a triple fucking shot thing here, and I'm cleaning like an ancient city. I think if they went too arcadey, the simpleness of it might be destroyed, but I think you could add a little bit. Like, yeah, maybe you could have a couple like clean bombs or whatever you could use, like one, like a few, 3 or 4 times a mission, depending on the mission. You had to like carefully place those. Then I clean a bunch of shit in the radius. Because this already has a challenge in like speed mode and stuff you can do with up to 6 people. Yeah, I'd definitely say more upgrades, more attachments, and just more crazy areas. And like I said, it would be cool to have a bit more moving parts. But you gotta design those in a way where it's not a huge pain in the ass because you have to get so many details. Like you kind of need to be able to get in between a lot of small spots. If stuff was moving, you might not be able to hit those angles. But I mean, shit, this one's already got like 40 hours without replaying anything in it, so. Yeah, I've done a fair bit of this off stream, but yeah, there's the Ferris wheel where that's moving. Yeah, there's the, other amusement park shit like the merry-go-round and all that also has some moving parts. Yeah, the Ferris wheel is interesting because you were like running up it or off of it, or like riding up the little gondola deals. I think goofy shit like that. It's more extreme places. But since it is such a concept that's just kind of, like I said, for this very specific type of like feel, I mean, hard to really have like a normal, like, how do you sequel this? Because if you guys, like I said, if you make it too gamey, kind of misses the point of the sim part of it. I think you have to be careful. Yeah, it's one that I went really hard on for the first few days, but then after that, I was just kind of like, if I wasn't streaming, but I wanted to kind of still do a little bit of stuff, I just kind of do a level here and there. I was watching or listening to something. It was good about that, but honestly, it's still you have to pay quite a bit of attention. It's non-stop. There's not like any break. I definitely think you could do like a more psycho, like crazy fast, like yeah, no Zen version if you wanted with more like. I mean, it doesn't need to be fucking Mario Sunshine, but like stuff like that. I guess I like little clean bombs and silly shit like that. Clean quickly. You could have a mix though. You could have a mix of like slow levels and then fucking action cleaning levels. Feels more like it's a one-off kind of thing to me that would just get more levels, which I think is kind of what they've been doing. But I mean, there's a bunch of shit that is one-off that they'll still make more of just because money. Who knows? Maybe there will be another one. I imagine this one did pretty well. Yeah. I've only watched Goat Simulator, but yeah. One of those where they kind of just keep beating the joke into the ground. I don't know how clever it still is. Probably more clever than Deer Simulator, which I also played. That one kind of sucked. It was cute for like 2 seconds, and then you're like, alright, dude. I'm done playing this game. Oh, really? That's cool. Is it Goat Simulator 3 or whatever? Or they skipped the second one? Or is it 4 and they skipped the third one? There's a joke there, I just don't remember which number it was. I mean, Goat Simulator seemed like it was it was one of the more like original joke simulator games, and they probably had more of an idea at that point. It's neat if they're actually trying to make a little something out of it, even if it's still a joke game. It's not like they made one every fucking year either. Like it's some for Five Nights at Freddy's shit. I respect that. Maybe I'll give them a go at some point. I don't remember if those are on Game Pass. Probably. I think I probably own them somewhere. It's one of those that just kind of like gets around, right? I mean, I doubt I have the third one, but his Deer Simulator was a lot like that, where it's just like really wacky physics with like an animal. But Goat Simulator looked like it was a bit more refined for a joke game, where Deer Simulator was just like almost shovelware. But it was really short, so it got away with it a bit. $8. Yeah, let me see if it's actually on where I'd have it. Anywhere. Goat Simulator. Yeah, the first one's on Game Pass. It's like 2 to 5 hours long. I'll install it. Fuck it. Yeah, that's one of those games I feel like everybody's played, and since it's kind of like a joke game, like it's like the jokes just pass me, but it's probably still entertaining in its own right, a little bit. If I'm willing to play fucking Deer Sim, I should be willing to play probably Goat Sim. Yeah. I mean, it was not like horrid or anything. It was just like, you could tell it was like kind of a quick, cheap game they wanted to make for a laugh, which I mean is fine. But that's all it ends up being, right? Goat Sim seems like it's a joke game like that where they actually kind of try to keep running with it because it went popular. We'll have to see if it's something kind of neat. Christ, there's a bunch of shit up here. Fucking massive, There's a lot of random joke games though like that. Probably if you search for 2 seconds, I imagine. Some don't even call themselves simulators, right? But they still kind of are. But the thing is, there's like good ones hidden in there. Like this one's pretty cool, right? But then there's some that are kind of, yeah, like shovelware. Trying to get on that good simulator joke. And there's some that are just real simulators, and that's gonna really depend on the person. This one does too, but it's got a touch of arcadiness to it. So. Although, I mean, that goes for any game, right? Some people are gonna drive somewhere, but I think simulators in general are a bit more niche. I mean, I guess some are more appealing than others. Like I said, I think the like fantasies, goofy, extreme shit in this one, and them simplifying probably the actual process. Like you don't need like actual water or anything. Probably makes it a bit more appealing. Yeah, that's the thing. There's so many that are just like shovelware that probably nobody thinks of. This one coming out on Game Pass and being like pretty chill, simple, and like well made. It's not like jank. There's a lot of content. It's got nice quality of life kind of controls, like the ability to like not just play like this. You can play like this. Regardless of how niche it is, it's still there's quality there. You can judge. That's why sometimes those joke ones, it's like unless they're ultra short, it's like you can still be a shitty joke game. A lot of games can get away with being shitty because it's part of the joke. It's clever in some ways, but it's also something that's been done a million times, so it can be played out. Well, this one's like kind of a joke, right? Oh, I'm power washing around. Like, I mean, I make a joke about it every fucking title, essentially, but the variety of locations you go and stuff, and it's still being generally like pretty chill. and satisfying. I mean, it's pretty real. So. Like I said, I mean, I'll be done when we're done with this one for sure. I've gone away with it, enjoying it. But it'll definitely have run its course. I mean, I think for about almost 40 hours without replaying anything and not doing the extra 3 missions, that's pretty good for a game like this. It didn't bore me at that point. But this is also one of those few games where definitely don't play it all in a row. I mean, I had fun doing that on the first few days, but doing a mission here and there. Because once you really get used to the mechanics and the novelty is gone, it really is just the same shit every time. So. Borderlands 2, yeah, because of its amazing humor, right? Yeah, incredibly dated humor. Yeah, I don't expect to get many laughs out of Goat Simulator, but we'll see. It's gotta be better than Borderlands 2 humor. There's no way any joke written by Anthony Birch can be better than any other joke on the planet. God, Borderlands 2's humor was like so bad back then. Maybe it's not as bad now if I played it again, or maybe it's probably worse now because of how dated it is, and just like me having even less patience for like the dog shit. I mean, I remember enjoying the game enough back in the day, even outside of co-op. I can tell you what, though, I've had very little interest in ever revisiting the series. I mean, now that I have a copy of 3, I might with people just for shits. But like pre-sequel, didn't care. Honestly, Tales from the Borderlands, I might play the first one just because people say it's good, but apparently the new one sucks. Tiny Tina's, like, I almost died trying to even watch trailers for that game. I think it's just like they've been beating the dead horse pretty hard. So it's like, and it was already kind of getting old after the second game. As well, the loot 'em up shit's fun. It's like it doesn't go super deep. Like the weapons aren't that fun to use. There's like technically variety, but it's kind of surface level. Ooh. And I was never terribly big on the world and all that. At least even in high school, which I'd probably be way more forgiving than. Borderlands 2, my opinion, is the best numbered entry. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. That's when they were still probably had some integrity. They weren't just beating the dead horse. But pre-sequel, the writing was already on the fucking wall, man. Is there not like a fucking... I guess there's no ladder this time. Climb this thing. Well, I guess I could just walk up the fucker, huh? But yeah, I've just had very little interest in doing more of this series. Like I said, I will probably. I'll have some moment where I just want to talk about it. It's been gifted and everything. But yeah. I didn't bother with the DLCs for 2. And yeah, that's the other thing too, is like they're best enjoyed co-op. When a game kind of needs co-op, regardless of whether it's signed for it or not, like yeah. No, was Ripper just chatting? Gotcha. But that's the thing, especially now, it's like all their last few games, like Battleborn and all that shit, just have not been I think it's Battleborn, isn't it? Or is it Battle Riot? I don't remember. They've just not been really big hits. And it's like they're going back to Borderlands just to fucking because that's their fucking cash cow. And that's just like the vibe I get from Tiny Tina's and all that. Like I'm not a desperation per se, but like they're even doing like a movie, right? It feels like that we're making the multimedia franchise kind of thing, not just we're making a cool game. Doesn't mean you still can't have a good game, but oh lore. There's just something about it. That and like the humor, like I said, is really a turn off nowadays to me. Or before I was like, oh, maybe I'll quote it a little bit in high school or something. Now I'm like, I couldn't even be bothered. Yeah, I don't doubt that Borderlands 3 is an actual improvement where the pre-sequel was like kind of cash in. Not that Borderlands 3 isn't still a cash in some capacity, but even some of the weakest cash ins have to attempt some level of quality to stay relevant. I wouldn't be surprised if they kind of did that. But no, I'll have to see what up with that. But I mean, I respect that they made other games, I guess, after the success of Borderlands. I shouldn't be too hard on them there, but yeah, between Randy and how shitty a lot of those other games are, hard to really be like, oh, yeah, oh great. The ancient aliens here with like RVs and shit, where they walk their RVs and houses. Yeah, the Telltale game is supposed to be pretty good, actually. The new Tales from the Borderlands, there's a second one now, is supposed to not be good at all. That's the one I think made in-house. I could be wrong. That came out this year. I don't think anybody gave a fuck. Could be wrong because I'm just not into Borderlands. But Oh, is this statue really of our guy here? Is there some kind of time travel shenanigans with our guy here? These are like all the things I cleaned. The washing. The Lord of Washing, the God of Washing. So they got like some goofy shit like that, that's fun. Yeah, we've cleaned all this before. The drill. I don't even know. We're washing some kind of essentially a temple. Lost ruins to apparently our guy. Could be a flying palace, we'll find out. There's gonna be like a big cutscene or something. Yeah, I don't know. We've just done some Telltale games recently that were, I mean, fuck. Their style really wears on you after a bit. There's a reason they shut down, right? A lot of the same stuff, a lot of the same beats, the kind of dialogue, how shit plays out. But I would still like to try more of the stuff from their glory days, if you will. I don't have as much investment in playing like all of Telltale's shit. It's like a discussion, but I mean, there's something there, right? Wasn't the pre-sequel's big thing just that it was like low gravity? That was like, I'm like, okay, they just literally turned down the gravity. Like, is that was the gimmick? It really felt like a cheap, like, cash in. Yeah, I was kind of just done after too, honestly. Especially because I've kind of stopped playing a lot of those with friends. Um, I'll get back into it at some point, but that's the thing is I don't think the quality's gone up, so it's hard for me to want to like really get back into them. Like maybe if they're like, yeah, Borderlands 3 is actually, the next phase of Borderlands. I'm like, oh, okay, maybe, okay, I'll think about it. Yeah, that was my thing. Was it just kind of came out? I mentioned that like a month after it came out. I was like, yo, like Borderlands 3 like came out. Like nobody talked about it. I know people who've played it, but like it was so like it's not I don't think it did like poorly, but it just kind of happened. Like Borderlands 1 and 2 were like kind of a big deal at the time, right? But 3 I feel like almost just Ghost came out. I think it might have been an Epic Game Store exclusive on PC for at least a bit. Maybe that was part of it. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. I could be very much wrong. 2019. And but was it Epic Game Store? I don't remember. I'll have to check. I think that might have been partially why I didn't hear much about it. I didn't watch any stream. I didn't see any streams of it. Maybe I'm just like not in the communities who care about Borderlands. Yeah, they paid for Borderlands 3 exclusivity. $146 million for what I'm guessing was like a year exclusivity or some shit. That's probably why I didn't hear much about it. And when the shit hit its Epic Games Store, it gets a lot less traction, man. I think it kind of came out in waves, so it never was like a huge push to talk about. Or no, there's never like a big discussion to be had. Yeah, I don't think they did either. I mean, hell, I got that on Steam now, so it's not even like it was perma exclusivity. Yeah, I don't know how it ran like shit when those games are like super stylized. Maybe just some of the weapons were absolutely insane, goofy bullshit, so they had like a crazy amount of particles. Even then, dude. I mean, this is from the same people who made Duke Nukem Forever and Alien Colonial Marines. Not exactly the stars of quality. Battleborn. That joke UI everybody always likes to take a jab at, rightfully, deservedly. Yeah, at least they're not as fucked as their other games. Definitely give them that. I'm very curious how bad this fucking Borderlands movie is gonna be, though. And it's one of those few movies that I'm willing to be like, yeah, it's just gonna be bad before it's even out. I don't even know what it's gonna be like. Is it just gonna be like a more humorous Mad Max? There's just gonna be references? I don't know how big of a part the actual writers of the games are in it. Rad Max, yeah. I'm like, what is it? Yeah, man. The Trident of Cleanliness is actually a temple to me. Don't know what kind of timey-wimey shenanigans that involves, but probably has something to do with the aliens UFO I cleaned off. What are you excited for? The new Mass Effect? Maybe the new Dragon Age? We got faith in those, right? No. I want like a good new Mass Effect. I enjoyed the old ones, but Jesus, dude. I haven't played Inquisition, but what else has BioWare even done lately? Andromeda? I get that it was their B team or whatever, but I'm like, I mean, what's the A team putting out? Oh wait, they did Anthem. That's right. Another shitter. Awesome. Not much faith. Maybe more faith than I have in Gearbox to make something good, though. Hey, look, we might be saving the world here. You can't just put a price on that. Well, I guess you can. It's $3,000. Assuming this has anything to do with it. This might just be our post saving the world. He doesn't do it for the money, man. He does it for the people. 3K alien, yeah. The exchange rate's insane. It's good money. It's quite good. Trick space fans into playing a third-person shooter. Is there some kind of hate of third-person shooters among space fans? The genre wronged them. The second one, I would definitely agree. That one has a lot more shooter elements, but it's fun enough. I don't remember the third one really improving a whole lot in the gameplay front. But rest the wrist for a sec. Yeah, we're 47% cleaned. We probably got another, I'd say another 40, 50 minutes. I'd have to play them again. I liked them back in the day, but each one has an issue. The first one's eyes are bigger than its kind of stomach kind of thing, right? Like there's way too much like fluff filler content that's kind of half baked. But the idea is cool to be able to explore all these planets and stuff like that. And combat's a little wonky. Then two was pretty clean all around, but at the end of the day, you could kind of doesn't have as enough to do. In a way, it doesn't have a lot to do with the whole trilogy. Some people have a problem with that, where it's a kind of like all side content. But like, I like that. And then the third one, obviously, the side stuff's not very good, and the ending's pretty shit. You need to play things without listening to people. No expectations is best expectations. You talking to me? Oh, I got you. Yeah, one of those things is Mass Effect. Yeah, it was just kind of huge for its time. Everybody, a lot of people played. A lot of people talked about it. It was like one of the earlier next gen titles. So I think you just have a lot of love and conversation about it. Oh, you have played it. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed them for the most part, for sure. Like I said, I'd have to see now before you play them, but I felt like doing that yet. Maybe when the next one comes out, I would for shit. Even play Andromeda. Yeah, expectations can definitely make something rough, but it's also a necessary filter, I think, in some cases. Sometimes you gotta find out whether you even want to bother or. Some people are better about filtering other people's opinions of shit out when they're playing some stuff. Because there's people who'll do the opposite too. Everybody will like say something super awesome, so some people will just fall in line and also say it's awesome because it's popular. So there's kind of like that weirdness to it. Yeah, I think keeping your expectations lower there, realistic, is definitely the best way to enjoy shit. But yeah, definitely would say listen to recommendations. Know where they're coming from though. Oh no, you're overhyping it. I'm never gonna enjoy it. You can never live up to it. Suffer, dude. Don't you want us to enjoy that game though? Suffer like G did. Yeah, I would agree though, for the most part. I mean, it depends a bit, but yeah. Definitely good not think about other people's opinions too much when you're playing something. I feel like I saw that about Callisto. I mean, it deserves hate for sure, but there's a lot of people I would see in chat rooms just like openly taking massive dumps on it without really having anything to say, just because it's kind of like commonplace to do so right now for it. But then I'll see people play as something that's like pure ass, and then like nobody says something. Just because the streamer's like more passive, and there's not like a lot of talk. That's methodology, yeah. Leaves something to be desired. But no, I agree. The pediment. I say that it's only gonna take another 40 minutes because I'm doing all the annoying shit first, I think. I say you do. Reap the reward. Very simple. Quite simple. Really. Okay, but listen. Go us out for lunch right now. Please leave a message. Go to when's the Mushishi watch? When's the Twin Peaks watch? When's Let's Me Jincha watch? When's the Silver Case? When's Death Stranding? Is it DMCA approved? Probably not, but I got the VODs muted. Unless my VOD audio mix. I just want to get a laugh with Death Stranding. He's been talking about doing it. Seeing you really cool and important. Thank you for the feedback on Goto's behalf. No, the VODs are muted. The impact is Kojima released a game. Now you got me sweating. Yeah, usually when I'm playing music, I mute the VOD audio. Only have the voice track. But even then, I still tend to not play stuff that could be risky, but times I'll feel ballsy. No, I was just watching someone with like 30,000 viewers play fucking Fergie. I don't even know if they mute their VODs. Not 30,000 viewers. 3,000. Porsche. Don't worry though, the second game's gonna have impact, bro. Hold on. Kojima's sophomore outing. Oh wait. Find out at the VGAs, huh? Pretty sure he's set to announce a few projects, at least one. He's sure been fucking hinting at it enough. Been hinting at multiple things. Yoda? Look at me. But my friend, I make the company. I own the banks, the printers, the markets. I am companies. You could technically have some value, huh? You could technically sell your account or some shit, right? It'd have to depend on the value of using them in my chat. Oh no. Speaking of value, gotta go. Feel a pain in my heart. Like it's not the emotional kind either. Like I'm going to have a heart attack or something. Wonder why. The Adrio. I think I meant to finish something outside. I got caught up in here. That all has to get finished. How's the tonic playthrough go to? How's the Katana Zero playthrough go? Calvin Miller's getting closer to the volcano. What do you see, Calvin? Aliens? Maybe. Abandoned mining drill. Uh, the mayor. Waiting for the mayor to be an alien now, too. The mayor trying to destroy the world, man. We are gonna save the world here. Don't remind him. That's no badge. It's a weapon. It's blackmail. It's power. Such power. Whoa. A very generous man. That's how. He's a good lad. A cruel lad, but good lad. He's damn right. He's goddamn right. Yep. It's coming. Just need time. Want to enjoy it. I'll play. I'm gonna play the game either way. Ridelo's gifted the damn thing. I'm gonna play it. I'm interested in it. Mr. Kill. It's important to the stream. Play what a lad wants. When a lad wants it. Recommendations and gifts are super important, and that definitely, of course, is going to influence what I'm going to do. But I shan't be bribed. I shan't. For the sake of max enjoyment, in the best stream possible. Mystic KDkill. I gotta be wondering how many Goto games we've actually done. Out of curiosity, I should throw up a list. Quite a few years. Less than well, that's always gonna be the case. This is why these things happen. Goto always has another game. Always did Goto wanted right when he wanted it. I'd never make another choice in my life again. Goto said it himself. They make all the choices. Consider yourself. Best Definitely got the most played recommendation. Doubt that for a second. Let's see what Okami playthrough going on. Yeah, the chaff. Can't really enjoy the wheat without knowing what the chaff's all about. Yeah. You have a greater appreciation of the chaff, or the wheat, and well, not really the chaff. The finest chaff, kusoge. the trim. How many games left? Depends if I do movies tomorrow or not, for one. But tomorrow, if I do a game, it would be Metal Health Singer. Which would be one, or we would do Return to Monkey Island or something, which would be one. If I do Metal Health Singer, there's time for maybe one more. Then it's VGAs the next day, and then I could clean up whatever else we were working on. After that, it's Big Run and Salmon Run. Right after that, I might have time for one short game. Then it's Final Fantasy XIV for 2 or 3 days. If Dragon Quest Treasures 3 is good, we'll be playing that. If not, we'll do Phonotopia during that time. I'll be playing Crisis Core Remake. Where would that put us? Crisis Core, I think, is on the 13th, so coming 16th. 12. So Sammy's the 9th to the 11th. FF14 is probably the 13th to the 16th. But I'll probably not only do it for 2-3 days. I don't have much to do. So let's be generous and say I may have 2 games in there. Treasures, I imagine, would take a little bit. I'm sure like 3-4 days. Crisis Core would probably take 4 days. Phonotopia would take 4 or 5 days. And that'll leave us. I mean, this has been very loose too. Leave us with another 3-4 days until the 30th, which on the 30th I'm gonna do the year in review. We're looking at anywhere from like, if you don't count me playing games that I've already played, like FF14, probably like 4 to like 6 new ones. Really depends on which ones though. I like to do Pentiment, which is the new one by Obsidian that's supposed to be pretty decent. Supposed to be kind of similar-ish to like maybe Disco Elysium. Supposed to be pretty good. That'll take like 2 days. We'll see if we get the Signalis. No, I'd like to try to knock out more shit that came out this year, but I don't really have a shitload of time. And yeah, if tomorrow ends up just being kind of movies or whatever, then I won't get to a whole lot of gaming because the VGAs are tomorrow night. But if I started anything, it'd be tonight. So. The VGAs will probably last a good 4, 5, 6 hours. Yeah. We'll see. Like I said, I kind of want to focus in on stuff that came out this year just to have a stronger end of the year talk. And if I'm going to play them anyways, might as well 2 birds, 1 stone, that shit. But I do want to do more gifted stuff. So there's a chance I'll do Jagged Alliance. Otherwise, I'll do that in January. Jagged Alliance would be pretty long, like Phonotopia, though. I could do Metal Hellsinger today, but supposed to be like 4 to 6 hours. Yeah, I told you I'm planning on doing it in December. What the hecky? Why I'm not starting it right now. I'd have to take a bunch of breaks. Is there any games this year that came out that you guys were pretty gung-ho about? Do you think I gotta absolutely do before the end of the year? Not that I would, but maybe. Depends. Definitely a lot of indies I want to play that came out this year that are just too pricey right now. Yeah. Yeah, I'm 30 now, dude. Yeah, I want to do some more classic FPS shit. I have been having a hankering for it. There's just too much coming out. That's why I'm gonna be a little bit more, a touch more strict, I think, the next few months. That's why Dragon Quest Treasures isn't supposed to be like real hot shit. I'm just not gonna mess with it. Crisis Core, I've been wanting to play for a long time anyway, so that'll happen. I think the next old school FPS will do this. I think Dark Forces 2 would be the next on the list. Could jump around and do like Duke or something, but Quake. Yeah, we need to continue the WADs. Too much to do. Game all fucking day, and we still can't get it all done. For very first world problem. Which worship to do. Oh yeah, we're gonna play Darktide as well this month a bit. Depending on Ripper and when I'm just kinda on or wanna mess with it. Thing is I think Darktide's pretty grindy, so we might not go super hard, we might just do a little bit here and there. I've been kinda interested in the 40k universe, so Dark Forces 2 is newer, really? Than Duke and Quake? No, I didn't know. Well, maybe not then. I'll have to look through our list of shit. I'm not gonna play like everything that came out back then. Right then. Like I probably won't do Marathon for a long time. But any game that I was like, oh I really do want to play this, might as well go in semi-history order, but I'll be a little bit more loose with it, honestly. Whatever gets us playing more of them more often. I need to start the Hitman series at some point here. I mean, I've played one before, and they're not really long, but those will leave Game Pass eventually, so I'd like to play the old ones since I bought them. We got a lot of stuff next year for sure. More trails, and then I'd like to start Fire Emblem at some point. I think we're just gonna kind of just roll shit out. We'll see what's coming out as we go during January and February, but kind of just want to play whatever. Hopefully not much, to be honest. Not that I don't like playing new releases, but sometimes you just want to go crazy. Oh, really? Wow. I didn't realize. I thought Dark Force 2 came out like relatively soon after the first one. Interesting. Maybe I'll run through Duke. I know some people have been wanting like last. They want to do like Duke co-op. Like I could always replay it. Quake kind of a big deal. I'd like to play like the original Unreal and all that. The other Turok, bunch of shit. Oh yeah, we're gonna do a Mega Man X. That's not other shit. Yeah, like the super grim, bleak, ultra dense lore is like really interesting to me. And always thought like maybe Warhammer's more goofy, but it seems like it's actually more serious. Maybe the fantasy stuff's got a touch of the goofiness, but yeah, the 40k stuff seems interesting. I think there's a lot of 40k games suck, don't they? I know the Dawn of Wars are supposed to be alright RTSs. Mechanicus is supposed to be like an okay XCOM. I've heard a lot of iffy things about Darktide, but it's on Game Pass. I'm like, fuck it, right? I'm willing to give it a go. And I was like, Space Marine was supposed to be kind of whatever, but they're making like another one. I think Space Hulk was like, just be like, alright. Yeah. Oh, there's a really old one. Some really old ones that are supposed to be really bad. I've watched some reviews on, like, barely even work. Yeah, a lot of it's just the art and shit. I mean, I like horde shooters though, so I'm interested in Darktide for that. Like I said, my Game Pass makes it not a big deal. I know a lot of people complaining about a lot of bugginess and content and stuff, but it's like, well, when I didn't pay $60 for it, a little bit are okay for me. Not that I mean it's okay in general. Like that would play into what my thoughts were on the game. My willingness to play it. There's not as much of a buy-in as Iron. 2016 is. Yeah, Space Marine looks pretty hardcore, but yeah, I don't know. I just like the really dark, kind of brooding, kind of heavy duty shit in the 40k world. I thought about getting into like other 40k or Warhammer shit, like with Total Warhammer or something, but there's so much DLC for those, and like, while I have access to 2 and 3, I've heard 3's kind of fucked. Just like, I don't know. Just kind of kicking my feet on that. They're also like really long. I've been watching a fair amount of Mountain Blade recently. Those look pretty cool. Pretty entertaining to watch. Watching the second one. Might do that at some point. A little different, but I was thinking of like larger kind of strategy looking things. Well, that's a bit more, it's like semi-strategy. Games Workshop doesn't want to take the franchise too seriously. I think they call it higher. I don't think it's actually been that way for 15 years. Yeah. I mean, it looks like there's a lot of comedy and like goofiness still, like I said, with like the orcs and stuff, but there's a lot of like dead serious kind of shit too. I don't know if they just consider like the old stuff more funny, or if like the new stuff's supposed to be kind of have an element of funniness to it too, like a grim kind of like dark humor. I don't know enough about the world. Like I know there's a lot of memes and shit, like the Emperor and all that. Maybe it was originally made to be a joke because it's just orcs in space or something, but then it turns into something else, right? Maybe they don't want to like pretend it turned into something else, so they just call it what it originally was. I have no idea. Sorry for the music too. I'm just kind of going random. The lore got away from them. Oh yeah. Do they not have like a huge? Is it their own fault? Like, did they just start writing crazy shit, or is it they gave it out to too many people? Oh, okay. They started having serious stuff, which kind of inherently changes the tone. Okay, I see. Cause yeah, when you see people mention 40K, like in just like random reviews or something, right? I mean, I don't know if they're diehard, just people who just talk about it a little bit, casuals maybe for it. It's usually like ultra serious or something grim. You don't see the humor mentioned too much. I see more humor mentioned with, like I said, the original Warhammer. 40K, I don't see it as much. Yeah, it did. Yeah, that's kind of, I was like, it didn't, this 40K just kind of like went bigger. I mean, other than Total Warhammer, yeah, I only know my games too. I don't fucking, who knows on the actual like figures and whatever the books or whatever the fuck. I don't, is there like a main Warhammer lore thing that comes out ever? Like, do they make like a, this is the prime stuff and everything else is like spin off? But yeah, other than that, the only like I only knew 40K for a while. I didn't really know about the fantasy shit till stuff like Warhammer, Total Warhammer. But you see 40K everywhere. Maybe it's just more interesting world. It's not fantasy. There's a lot of those. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Most likely. Well, no, wasn't it originally Warcraft was gonna be like a? I thought it was the it was originally that they were going like Warcraft was going to be a Warhammer thing, and then they didn't get the license, so they made Warcraft instead. Doesn't Warhammer go farther back than Warcraft? I could be wrong. I mean, they're obviously very similar. I mean, some people could have just fed me the wrong info. I didn't like look super hard into it. For all I know is Warcraft came from Warhammer, and then 40K came from fucking StarCraft, for all I know. Which is funny though that game-wise, the thing that it was going to be and then ends up being what it imitates is much better than anything they've put out. Yeah, not high priority trivia, no doubt. Especially because, I mean, I've still got a lot of Warcraft to play and absolute shitload of Warhammer, so I'm not terribly obviously invested. We're getting there. It's gonna go a little longer than I thought, I think, though. Pause the game a few times. But the outside should be the quickest. Because raw left and right here. The most cleaning per second I can do. I don't know what's at the top. That might take a little. A little bit of wall left. Couple chunks. Yeah, that's another thing with this game, though, is I kind of have to play it in spurts because it's a lot of wrist movement. Waited for a bit today. And then my playstyle of this game, too, is I'm just kind of a lot of left, right. Now that I've got this weapon, too, or this weapon, this tool, it clears stuff so easily. It has such a fine little point to it. Like, you kind of need to move it a lot to make best use of it. Going slow is fine, but there are ways to it can clean a lot more than you can move slowly, right? I guess you could find like a steady movement pace, but it's like if I just kind of brush it, it already cleans it, so. If my gun's super slow. I guess you need some control there just to. You're not just missing. Other than that. See how I'm feeling. Like I said, I might go to the grab a little grub. Or I'll just have another Pop-Tart and call it good. Gonna make curry rice with chicken tonight. Have that meal prep for tomorrow. GG's. Yeah, I might not do Metal Hellsinger today. But even if I did start it, I wouldn't be able to finish it. Unless I want to just get less sleep again. Honestly, I need to catch up on some sleep. I think it's affected the stream too much, but pretty tired. Will you folks play Opus Echo of Star Song for me? Its own Game Pass. Great game. An emotional game. Ooh, fuck. The wrist. A lot of moving. Definitely a big boy. I don't know if this one has the most square footage or what. It's got a mix of like hard to get shit and sheer mass, though. Mass, size, surface area. Surface is the best way to put it. Didn't finish cleaning this yet. Don't look down. Yeah, I watched a bit of that Marvel Midnight Suns game. Looks like shit. That's what the XCOM devs have been doing, but Christ, dude, if you want some fucking like hard to stomach writing, dude, we'll see how the strategy ends up being. I only got to see like the first chunk, but it's kind of like a card game, but like XCOM, like Shell. Good God, dude! If you hated Marvel quips and writing, get ready for the imitation, cheap, like, knockoff imitation Marvel quip writing. And then I don't like the Marvel writing already, so it's like extra fucking rough, dude. I wonder if after that game, because I feel like nobody's talking about it, so I imagine it's not doing terribly well, if they'll do XCOM 3 to recoup it all. It's funny how Marvel as a property is like so huge in movies, although I feel like it's on the decline. But in games, I just can't seem to get it right, man. People just don't care as much. I mean, it still makes money, but you think there'd be some kind of like, you know, If it's this big here, it's got to be really massive here too, or like close to it. But yeah, like from what I've seen, I mean it's entertaining to watch because it's fun to laugh at with people, but like it's pretty rough. And it does not look as fun as XCOM. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. Because people say I play everything, but surprised the amount of games I pass up every fucking week. There's a lot of games I'm like, yeah. Because people said December was packed, and I'm like, is it packed? And I was like, oh yeah, close to a Marvel, and I'm like, yeah, real packed, dude. Like, I'm good, man. Like, I actively say no to a lot of fucking games. Yeah. Not much interest in that one. I'm pretty fucking done with all Marvel shit. Not that there's not good old games or that they could still make a good game. I mean, I'll play something that's decent, right? But yeah, anything that's like really tying hard into that style of their movies and shit, you're gonna have to do a lot more to get me interested. Like I might play that Wolverine game coming out because it might actually be halfway decent. The Spider-Man game was fine. Same people, but like just Marvel for the sake of it, especially like yeah, an imitation writing kind of game. It's like no thanks, dude. I mean, I hope it goes well for Firaxis. I don't really care about Marvel, but I hope they kind of return to XCOM. I mean, they don't have to. Just something good, right? I mean, XCOM was kind of a big deal. The new one. Yeah, I gave Wanda a try. Never ended up finishing it. I just did like 5 episodes, like every half a year. And I was like, I was kind of getting into it near the end, just because they're all fucking like popcorn flicks. They're like fucking focus tested to be like somewhat entertaining, but I never cared enough to finish it. I watched the Spider-Man one with the metaverse, and it had some entertaining shit, although a lot of it was fan service, but the writing's on the wall with that stuff, man. When you start getting into metaverse stuff for the sake of like purely fan service and like reanimating old fucking like lore, or, like recannibalizing old like parts of your property, like it reeks of like, yeah, we ran out of ideas, and I wouldn't say desperation, but that kind of vibe, right? I didn't try much else out of their new stuff. Like too much of it's just shows, and shows that's there's even with like their big fans are supposedly mediocre. And it's like, well, fucking hell, man. If even like Super Marvel shows like not into it, like I'm fucking hell. God knows I'm not though. I couldn't give two fucks about like Winter Soldier or any of that shit, man. I'm just tired of their style, and I'm tired of how like suffocating I imagine it must be trying to make like anything else in Hollywood when you have Disney like looming over like most big productions. I'm glad like indie stuff still exists, but I do wish more creative endeavors like that could happen on a larger scale. I think The Northman was one of the last like kind of big ones, and I don't think that did well at all, but it had like a super budget, right? Something tells me that shit ain't happening much anymore. Oh yeah, I'll see a movie for Defoe. I love Defoe. That was honestly my big reason for it's I probably have that in the Discord. You probably find it. That's like one of my main reasons I said I was gonna go see it because I was like Defoe and his Green Goblin was pretty fun. But yeah, writing's definitely on the wall with that one. I haven't cared much for any of the stories they're building up. I thought about seeing the Doctor Strange one because the Evil Dead guy made it. forget his name. The director of Evil Dead. Yeah, another. Yeah, Sam Raimi, brother who was in fucking that one of the Dark Pictures games recently. Which is weird. Oh no, he was in The Quarry, not the Dark Pictures. Same people, same bullshit, same engine, same shtick. Every fucking game. The first one was a really cool visually, and it was kind of an interesting just setup. I mean, it was like a fun popcorn flick, like most of them are. But I don't care about seeing another one, honestly, because it was less about weird shit with like Strange, I think, and a lot more about like the Wanda chick. I'm like, well, then I gotta finish the show, and there's all this other shit. I'm just like, don't care. All right, this is the last wall. It's not like I hate the idea of superheroes or anything, but it's been pushed so hard, and it's the corporate deal, man. Like how focus tested it is for like every kind of person ever, right? Just the right amount of comedy, just the right amount of serious. You're not too uncomfortable. Like just even just the style of it, the feel of the jokes and stuff. Regardless of that, just at this point, are just super old. Regardless of how much I feel like it's like a suit trying to fuck like sell me his shit. Marvel did magic, yeah. I just think they've ran their course, man. It was an interesting cultural thing for a bit. Although I don't know if they'd really have cultural. I mean, everything has cultural impact, but I don't know how much of a positive cultural impact Marvel fucking shit's gonna be when we look back on it in 30, 40 years. Or if we'll be like, yeah, there's that really long period where everybody just fucking watched cape shit for a really long time. And like most movies were owned by a single company in Hollywood, or if that's gonna be how it just stays. Because I mean, you see that kind of writing and stuff, that the Whedon-esque shit. I mean, you see that in like God of War. I mean, you see it in all sorts of games. It's had impact in ways, but I would call it almost a negative influence. Special edition. Yeah, I'm sure there'll be. I mean, there's nostalgia for anything, right? I mean, they brought back fucking Glover for Steam, dude. So I'm sure it'll get a little something, but I don't know if yeah. I feel like when it dies, it's gonna die. Man. Pretty good for a while. Maybe they'll go back to doing stuff like the old Blade and shit, where they just have like random, kind of really different movies for each hero. Just because somebody wanted to take the property and just kind of roll with it. The actual people instead of like an algorithm or something. That's true. It's a cult classic enough. It's got a dedicated little fan base, maybe. Alright, let's change to stuff that's like, well, we're almost done. Fuck it. I'll just keep doing random shit. Maybe we'll get something good. Sometimes I'll rediscover stuff when listening to all shuffle and be like, oh, this is actually really good. Filtering process is not always perfect. We'll see though. There's a bunch of shit on the inside, I'm sure I still have to finish up. Well, there's so much in this one. I feel like we'll hit 100%. I hit 100% before finishing in one of these before. It was really weird. I think I just rounded up. Dude, the new Star Wars movies, I did not like at all, man. The first one was like, okay, right? Just falls in a lot of the same issues that like Marvel ones do and stuff. But like it was like alright, like it could have went somewhere, right? But Jesus, the second one, dude, and the third one. I mean, I was laughing in the theater or trying to hold in some laugh. I'm just like, damn, they paid billions for this, man. This is how you're gonna just wreck the damn IP, dude. I've heard the new fucking Indiana Jones trailer looks horrible too, man. I don't know if that's. I think that's owned by Disney too. Not sure, but I'm gonna have to watch it. Do a react. Oh, I don't think you can watch movie. Maybe not. Yeah, I did not care for it. It gave me very little. I didn't watch the Solo movie. I did watch Rogue One. You always see people say that was the actual good one. I'm like, I don't know, dude. I mean, it wasn't that great either. But I mean, comparatively, maybe. At least it had fucking Mads Mikkelsen in it. It was always nice. I don't know. It goes both ways. Like when it came out, people were like, "Oh yeah, this is the shit, dude." And then like I'll see people say, "Yeah," I will hear people say the opposite. I'll hear it goes like yeah, so many ways. And I'm like, to me, it was just like, eh. I was just like, eh. Like I'm not really super into it. It was just like, all right. I think maybe the standards were just kind of low after whatever came out before that. I mean, I watched the originals; they still hold well. I mean, the third one's got some issues. What's up, Outcast? Oh, good morning. Bright and early. Alcove ceiling. Alcove. I don't know. I guess I'm just like ultra anti giant corp fucking media these days. Not that I don't think there's still enjoyable things in there. I mean, I'm not like I'm unwilling to play or watch something from them, but definitely an amount of like meddling and lack of soul that you can just kind of feel because it's ultra for profit, made for everybody, focus tested kind of shit. Um, Physical therapy. We'll take it easy. Hopefully, it's a nice, simple day. Starday's 40K shirt. I don't know the one. I think I've heard the name, but yeah, that's kind of the thing. I don't know. It's like I'm not gonna say I didn't have fun with like Marvel or something, right? I mean, it is like I said, they're made very well to be just like ultra popcorn flicks. But at the end of the day, that's all they ever really are. And people throwing like more meaning onto them than they really even attempted to have is kind of goofy. Not that I'm saying that they're just innocent. They're just innocent movies where they're just trying to make some goofy fun. I'm like, no, I mean they're clearly made fuck, but like there was a lot of shit, but like you really feel it with those. But like, yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's enough really. That's kind of what I mean is I don't know if it'll have like long lasting, like 100 years from now influence. Because there's just nothing like really of substance other than just being like entertaining, like just like popcorn flicks. I mean, then again, I guess there's like entertaining movies that don't have a lot of substance we still talk about from back in the day, right? But at least those have some element of like passion or like craft you can kind of feel. Like, I mean, Die Hard's just like a fun action movie, but it's got a lot of, oh shit, the final thing. Oh, landed. What the hell's going on, man? Right, let's turn off the music. Things are happening. This plane's going in, dude. Is the mayor's like personal craft? But yeah, that's kind of what I mean. Is like I just don't feel that with Marvel stuff as much. Feels very just like I said, like kind of just soulless. Very just kind of like I don't feel like a lot of cool skill and I went into it or like a neat vision. Just feels very. What the? You can pick these up from as far away as you want. What the? I had no idea. I thought you had to have like a realistic distance. Just warp this shit, dude. The gem, dude. The aliens, man. What? Oh, I didn't get to see it. I pressed escape to pause the game so I could reply to. Yeah. PowerWash Simulator ending. Let me Google it. I don't trust this to not be a DMC, so. Written and performed by Green Guild. Oh. Here, I'll play it for you guys real quick. Sorry, well I'll get back to what we were talking about in a sec. I just want to wrap up this. Good song though. It's decent. I don't know if it's made for the game though. So is the mayor trying to like destroy this shit and then the aliens fight him off or something? Oh, that's all it is. Okay. Despite the DC movies flopping hard, I bet Batman will be around longer than Marvel. I think so too. I think Batman like at least attempts to iterate on itself a little bit more. They tried with the DCU bullshit for a bit, and that ended up kind of feeling crappy. But like with the new Batman and stuff, like it's just kind of back to the same old man. Or they just try new wacky Batman visions. That's the thing is like a lot of the like despite the whole I feel like all of the DC not being as like big a deal for people, Batman and like Superman in general, like so much bigger than like most Marvel shit, or at least in the past, right? Like Batman's probably loads bigger than most Marvel shit. Other than Spider-Man and like maybe Wolverine, I don't even know if Wolverine's as big as he used to be. Spider-Man was always like the big Marvel one, right? I don't think anybody gave a fuck about anybody but Spider-Man and Wolverine for the longest time. In comparison, that's when Marvel. That's when superhero movies are at their best for me. When is it just like them just taking a comic and just kind of doing something with it, not making this like huge, super corporate, massive money maker and thing. Like the Sam Raimi Spider Mans and shit. It's just like yeah, it's just like fun. You know, they have like fucking, you know, fucking Michael Keaton playing a fucking Batman and shit in a movie. It's like, are they doing a new one? I liked Logan a lot. I felt like it was something that was actually trying to be cool though, something interesting. Had a vision. Cat. Time to put away the gun. This was a wholesome game. We'll get into like a light review on it here in a sec. Let me put some music. Batman, Superman, Spider-Man general? Yeah, that's probably right. Yeah, I think Wolverine totally saves X-Men. I think X-Men is neat, but Wolverine's definitely like the most interesting part. But yeah, I guess I could put on camera here for the talk. But yeah, for sure. Nice outcast. The power of medicine. Yeah, I don't think Marvel movies. I just like I said, I don't think there's enough craft or like vision. That corporate kind of soulless vibe to it, and how everything is like kind of made for everybody, so it kind of makes it none of it have any bite. It's all kind of like stale. Like it's still fun when you're watching it, but it's one of those like I would never go back and consider like I didn't get anything emotional out of it. I would not want to rewatch most of them. It's just like raw like popcorn entertainment, right? Like you just turn on the TV and you're just kind of it's there, right? It's like I just don't know. Does that really have staying power? I mean, you could say in a way that that's special in its own right. Like maybe that's what people are just gonna look back fondly on, like it's just simple fun. But even then, I feel like there's simple fun that has more of like a vision and that is respected nowadays from back in the day. Some of the more cheesy action movies of the 80s and stuff like that. And it's like I don't I'm sure it'd be really stupid to say like yeah nobody's gonna care about them in the future. Of course, there's still gonna be a bunch of people who want to watch them. Of course, there's gonna be nostalgia and all that shit. But I gotta wonder if like does any of that go in the annals of like 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 respectable movie history or anything? I mean, it would be in movie history. It's a huge deal movie wise. If for nothing else, just the stranglehold Disney has on it and how they've turned these kinds of movies into like a huge money making thing. But in terms of like yeah, the art of it and all that, it's like I wonder if anybody will care. I don't know what were my favorites. I mean, I liked the original Iron Man back in the day. But yeah, people tend to like the second Captain America movie. I don't know. I'd have to look through them and see which ones I actually like the most. Definitely wouldn't be a Thor one. They all feel like the same shit. Yeah, I mean, I liked I was about to say Ryan Reynolds. What the fuck's his name? Chris Hemsworth is Thor. Who the fuck is Captain America? I mean, I liked him as Captain. And I liked the period piece kind of thing going on. Well, not period piece, but like the set first one. I mean, I had fun with like. Of course, everybody's gonna have fun with like Endgame or something because it's like literally building up over a bazillion movies, right? It's like the finale to your show or something. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I wouldn't call any of those movies bad either. They're just like I said, they're very like I don't have a lot of respect for like the Marvel movies, but I don't think they're like bad because they are like I said, like hard fucking crafted for like a very specific like one size fits all kind of fucking vibe. And I think that's what's not really respectable about them, especially for how long they've been going now. I think the only one in the future I'm caring about even looking into is Blade because Blade's cool. Yeah, I mean they're all just kind of their own deal, which would be cool if they didn't all feel exactly the same. If they're like unique. Well, like the second Thor movie. People always pan that one. Dark World or whatever. I just mean the one that you can't stomach. Oh, can people not stomach the first Iron Man anymore? Yeah, I didn't like Ultron that off much. I like the idea of the character. He looks really cool in the comic, but it was not a fun movie. It's kind of just whatever. And yeah, Iron Man 3, I was like, I barely remember that. That's just one where he had like a bunch of suits at the end, right? There's another movie about Tony Stark's feelings about being an asshole. Yeah, that's the thing with Iron Man 1 is like, yeah, pre MCU. Yeah, Jeff Bridges, you can't go too wrong with that. It was the beginning, of course. It was still in that same vein as like Spider-Man or something, with the Raimis. They're just kind of doing a movie. The box of scraps. Anyways, I guess I should do a quick little chit chat about this game. There's not like a whole lot to break down there. It is a simulator, so at the end of the day, it's gonna be kind of just like the idea of like cleaning or something. But in terms of how like the game's made, the quality of it, I'd say it's pretty good. There's a lot of fun they have with washing, right? I mean, this could just be like I'm just washing little just cars, just like office buildings, but they start to drip in more extreme locations, and then slide in a little bit of a fun story there for you in the background, to kind of keep it spicy. And it's not just visual flair. As these crazier, like these crazier buildings come in, it makes it more difficult to clean. So you kind of have to play with like your crouch a bit more, the nozzles you're using, how you're gonna like hang off of shit, the kinds of elevation equipment you're gonna use, and I think that's pretty cool. It's like the big shoe is like a good example of an earlier one, right? You get the shoelaces so they wrap in on themselves, where before you're just cleaning flat walls, and I think they do a good job of mixing in interesting to clean things and interesting to look at to clean things and like set pieces. I think the specials, some of these are probably more interesting than most of the levels, like the mini golf and the Mars Rover, stuff like that. I looked through them; they're pretty cool. I would do them, but I'm like, well, I'm kind of had my fill, I'd say. But yeah, I think if you're going for like pure simulator, this isn't like pure sim. You don't got to think about, um, you're not really thinking about water or anything like that. The amount of Gonkon shit is completely unreal. There's so much. Everything is covered in it. Too much shit. I would almost argue at times it's too much. I kind of wish there was more clean spots here and there, and you just kind of had to do like maybe more specialized washing on some areas, like with your chemicals, and then heavy clean on one wall, light clean on another. I think one of the problems I have is like it's looks also gunked up. It's kind of one size fits all. You just use like the same thing to clean everything because everything's fucked. And maybe if you're in challenge modes and stuff, you'd swap your nozzles a bit more. But I found myself never using like the white one. Only using some of the other ones here and there. Until I got upgrades. Power was good enough to actually use the green one more often. And then this last one was just too useful, especially with mouse and keyboard. So I would say there maybe like some more variable dirt kind of types where I actually feel like I need to swap around more. Since everything is so equally gunked up, it's like, why even bother? But otherwise, that was fine. They could lean more into arcadey stuff if they wanted. Like I said, maybe some more kind of special tools you can use. But I think it's totally fine with how it is here, and for this game at least. I think maybe a few more upgrades would have been fine. You kind of get the best upgrades, probably about halfway in, and then it stops really feeling like an upgrade. You're just kind of doing it. So I think they put some of the best variety at the end though, so it makes up for it. But there is definitely times where I'm like, well, at the beginning I was playing 12 hours straight. Later on, I was like, I could only do like 3 or 4 at a time. Which is still good. I mean, I actually did quite a bit today. But it was a good one just to watch it. It's 6 today, and this last one is huge. So yeah, I think overall, maybe some better variable gunk amounts. That would mean they'd have to put in more maps probably. One of the reasons this game is like 30 to 40 hours is like because of just how long each map takes. I think there's a good amount of maps, but yeah, if they had more variable amount, that means you'd clean it faster. But yeah, I think it looked nice. It had a nice bit of like kind of real but kind of stylized look to it. It was pretty pleasant. I think it made everything really colorful, and it had shone really bright, and everything was super shiny underneath, which is probably the right call. If it was just like really boring lighting and really boring colors, and you clean something off, and you're just like, doesn't look too much different. It would suck a bit more. I think that's the idea of why everything's so gunk covered, because you're really peeling off the layers, and it does make for a pretty entertaining or pretty satisfying finish. But like I said, it can feel a little bit samey because everything's constantly maxed out. So it's a lot more less about the tools you use and a lot more about just the angles you're going at it and the speed and all that. I like that there's co-op. I think that's a cool way to like get a lot of replay value out of these. There's challenges and speed stuff you can do and crap like that. I think maybe the chemicals, I did use them a little bit. They're pretty useful on really gunky stuff, but I think those should have been, you should have just already had a chemical nozzle. And then probably only had to pay like a little bit. What app? I got no idea. What kind of app do you mean? Which of these cleans, maybe? Yeah, what was I saying there? Yeah, maybe a bit more usage of the chemicals really given to you. Play with that a little bit more, so there's a bit more strategy involved. I think the sound was fine. There's some diegetic shit in there, but not a whole lot. It's mostly just the sound of the spray, which I think is good. You can just put your own music on. It's probably the way to go. I don't think it really lacked because it didn't have like a soundtrack or something. So I don't think it's really necessary. Yeah, overall I think it was good. It ran well. I think all the control, the quality of life stuff, being able to kind of turn the nozzle with your mouse, separate from actual aim, like you know, where you're aiming is pretty good, or where you're facing. That's what I would put it. I think that was really useful. I think maybe there could be a little bit better hotkeys for some of the nozzle swapping. I feel like I swapped a lot more between the lengths of the nozzles. Then I did the actual the color of the nozzle, the angle. I think controller, it's a lot better there. But controller, you don't have a lot of that freedom, and it's way slower. It feels a lot more natural just to aim it with the mouse freely. I think they could have probably played a bit more with moving parts as well, but they try to put a lot of spice visually. Get going. Alright. What else is there to say? Like I said, maybe a few more upgrades would have been nice. But overall, it's fine how it is. It feels pretty big when you do get one, but you don't get them that often. A lot of the stuff just feels like you kind of need to get it. I bought, like, you know, outfits and stuff, but I don't think that really matters too much outside of probably multiplayer. I forgot I even changed them all. Your gun, I guess, skin is there. I think it's cool to have that. Why not? It's one of those, like, why not have it? I guess that's another thing they could do. You could have, like, ropes or something in, like, another game, right? Where you have, like, kind of bungee down or, like, rappel while you're cleaning. I think that'd be kind of a cool thing. If you wanted to make, like, crazier stuff, then have, like, maybe super equipment or something. Like, if we're doing, like, skyscrapers or some shit. That'd be kind of interesting. I mean, that'd be a little unwieldy. Or maybe you just clean off a certain chunk. You can have more co-op design missions too. I mean, maybe there's like you could just freely join, like, yeah, like a big skyscraper and have 16 people go at it with like rappelling down or something. It'd be kind of neat. I think there's things you could do if they wanted to expand on it, but I think what's here is fun. It's comfy. It's kind of a bitch on your wrists, especially if you want to play a little bit more efficiently. But yeah, it's fun. I can't complain too much. If you're after Super Simulator, this isn't it. But if you're fine with like just like a simulator with a little bit of fun on it, it's a nice game to have something in the background, good chat, you're streaming. It's a cool idea. Pretty satisfying. You might get tired of it after a bit, but it's a nice one to just pop on whenever. So it's not like it's got a big running story. I don't think there's much else to say there. The amount of water used, the amount of time used. That's cool. Challenges. I'm guessing there's more than just these. Maybe not. Because they could definitely have made this just really gimmicky. And it was just like a quick 10-hour, you just clean. But I mean, you know, I feel like with co-op, with all these challenges, the speed stuff, the like 1 to 6 people shit, um, you know, they throw in a lot of extra features in there just, you know, because it'd be cool, it'd be a good idea, and they definitely like need to pull off a power washing game. And I think that extra stuff is the amount of missions and stuff is kind of what makes it feel like a quality game. It's one of those things that's kind of more of just like a special little game to play. I don't I'm not gonna go like, you know, it's my game of the year or anything. It's not really that kind of game, right? You're not gonna get like fucking touched by fucking Power Wash Simulator or something. But it's quality at what it does, right? But it's definitely gonna depend on this could be the most boring thing ever to somebody, right? This one's ultra subjective, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. I think the amount of features and variety and the visuals and performance and stuff like that here is like objectively good. Yeah, this game definitely for me is more, and I feel like for most people, is definitely more of a take your time kind of zen background thing. But I mean, there's totally gonna be people who want to go hard on this kind of shit. I'm gonna go watch a speedrun or something for this game afterwards if there is one. Yeah, I'd like to see. Yeah, for sure. I'd like to see someone hard. This is what's interesting to me is like 6-player co-op, man. What if you just joined anybody? Okay, you have to. They're private lobbies and shit. I think being able to join like a free lobby would be cool. That's all bareback. Thank you, dude. Thank you. brother. But yeah, well, there's not much else to say. If you guys have anything else you want to talk about with this or thoughts on it all, how much does this one cost? I'm playing it through Game Pass. Oh, I bet you there's gotta be power speed. There's speed times in the game challenges. I wouldn't be surprised if the community, if there is like a speed community for this, was more focused on single washes because this game's pretty fucking long. I mean, I spent. Let me see how many hours I got on it. I don't know if it'll count what hours I've got right now on it because I haven't closed the game. I guess I could close the. Let me close. You can just tell this game though they had fun with it. I mean, it had some soul, if you will, there. Saying that a lot. Soul. Explain what that is more instead of jackass. Twerp. Oh yeah, that Hello Neighbor 2 came out. That's supposed to be fucking bad. An hour or too long. Most of the content they promised isn't in it. The AI is shit. Despite them, apparently they like edited Steam pages and shit to like change what they promised and stuff before releasing it. It's like 60. It's like 40 or to $60. I think it depends on the edition. Good shit, tiny build. I guess. I wonder if they just rushed that out or what. It's on Game Pass. I could play it, but I never played the other Hello Neighbor games. There's a lot of fucking dude. If you look at the Steam reviews for it, there's people who are like, yeah, I'm a huge fan of the franchise. I don't see people like talk about a lot of games like that unless they're truly big. But there's people who are like, I'm a huge fan of like the universe, the franchise. I'm like, how many games were there? Can you be like a big fan of the franchise, man? Oh, it says I got 1 day, 5 hours on this, but I don't think it's updated. So I think this game took me about 30, 35 hours probably. Um, but yeah, 2% of people completed career mode. That's more than I thought. 2.2%. So a lot of people are just going to try this game on a whim, especially on Game Pass. You're going to have really low completion rates because people are just going to play real quick. But it's like a 40-hour one. Yeah, I don't know. I had fun with it. I'd play another one. If they did another one, they'd definitely have to like mix it up. But who did this game? Who made this? The Hello Neighbor Cinematic Universe. Yeah, it's like I only saw one person, or like a couple of people play the first one a little bit. I know they got around a bit, but they've been advertising Hello Neighbor 2 for like a year or two. It's always on Game Pass, previewed. I think we saw it in like KDkills or something for a while, and then it comes out and it's just like, oh shit, man. Like, and yeah, is it something with like the kiddos or something? Like, what is? I'm just surprised how many like big franchise fans. I mean, it's fine if you like it, I guess, right? But I'm just like, it just didn't feel like the kind of game that even had like a franchise. There's Secret Neighbor and Hello Neighbor, right? What else is there? PowerWash Simulator devs. Future Lab. Published by Square Enix Collect. Huh. What has Future Lab done? Our latest game, Peaky Blinders Mastermind. Mini Mac Mayhem. These gotta be fun games. There is not a Peaky Blinders big game. No? PC, Xbox, Switch, PlayStation. I think their last big thing was this. Founded in 2003, though. Oh, they made Velocity 2X. Where were all their games? I've played Velocity 2X. Did they do PC building sims? Tiny Track. Velocity 2X was a cool game. I like that one. Surge Deluxe. Vita game. Velocity. Coconut Dodge. Velocity. Speed Slider. Coconut Dodge. So it's a lot of just kind of like small little games. Honestly, till PowerWash. I wonder, since PowerWash was pretty successful, if they're gonna do another one. Oh, PC Building Simulator? Yeah, I could look into that. There's that one about the gas station that's supposed to be pretty good. And there's the house flipper one, or like opener one, or whatever. That's supposed to be kind of fun. Let me add that to the Steam wishlist just for it. I don't remember all these, but I could at least add a PC Building one. PC Building Simulator. The next simulator I need to play is fucking, what's it called? My summer car, dude. Play the Finnish simulator, dude. Finland simulator. That has a built-in like car mechanics simulator in it, right? But yeah, I need to play that. We have so many Finns in here. Actually, man, I gotta play that game. Yeah, it's supposed to be cool. It's funny, it's still in early access. Is this game ever actually gonna be done? I'm guessing not. Yeah, like they're gonna add a story mode. I feel like this game's hasn't it been out for fucking, yeah, since 2016. It's been 6 years. I don't think it's coming out of EA, man. Unless it's one of those games that they're just gonna like infinitely update. I don't think it's built for tanks. I could play I Am Jesus Christ Prologue right now, but I've heard it barely even runs right. Maybe we'll wait on the Jesus Simulator. Just replay the Youth Testament. That game was so boring. It was funny, but goddamn, it was... Yeah, if they fix the bugs, I'd play it just for shit. But I mean, I'll never buy the main game. If they want to give it to me to try to make me devout, maybe I'd play it. But yeah, there's that gas station attendant simulator one. I watched Trino play that quite a bit though. That's my thing, is it's probably not funny. Isn't it played kind of straight? At least U Testament was built on a fucking like a fucking wrestling engine, so it's kind of funny. Yeah. That's why I was like, I wouldn't probably pick it up. I don't. It's probably marketing itself as like funny in a way because it's a game called I Am Jesus Christ, but I think it's played pretty straight from what I've heard in the prologue. Other than duking it out with Satan with magic powers and stuff. Who knows? Gas station simulator. $15. Yeah, this game's supposed to be pretty. Yeah. I've seen quite a bit of it, so I'm not too jazzed about it, but I'll put it on the wishlist just to keep track. Yeah, Hello Neighborhood 2, man. It's got mixed reviews right now, 53%. It's one of those games, there's a bunch of different characters. Better than the first one, and this guy's still downvotes it. That's pretty awesome, dude. Are all the Hello Neighbor games on Game Pass? They got me wanting to do a series playthrough, dude. I don't know, you got $30 still for the first one. No thanks, dude. Secret neighbor. Like this off other people's PCs and switch out their HK for SSD, my kind of game. Hell yeah. It'd be good fun just to chit chat about computers and learn about building a bit more. Like I built mine, but it was the only computer I built, so I already forgot fucking most. What's up, Pincho? We're just kind of finishing up right now. That Pokemon Flyaway, I was like, wow, what a stupid bug, but it's because it was a lightweight and a storm started, so the wind is blowing hard. Oh yeah, that can happen with like Jigglypuff. Everybody thinks it's a bug. Rightfully so, because there is so many bugs. That was an actual bit of soul, dude. Shockingly in there. That's soul wording. Isn't there a streaming simulator? Like a live stream live simulator. That might have been a shit post game. Streamer life simulator. It's scuffed. It looks really like, yeah, cheap and like just for a joke. I mean, obviously it would be anyways, but it looks like it's taking the piss out of a lot of it, which would be funny, but I gotta wonder how interesting it actually is. It's floating. What the? On a picture. I don't know. There's probably all sorts of shit though. Alright, so let me uninstall PowerWash Simulator. The achievements for PowerWash Simulator are unhinged. Almost every level has something really bizarre you gotta do. I only have like 200 something points after beating the whole fucking game, or like 300. There's one that's like clean 95% of the entire map without actually finishing a single thing, and it's like, I bet a lot of that's pretty special. Oh, God is in heaven. Anyways, well, I want to wake up. I want to actually have some sleep tonight, then stay on a schedule for game awards tomorrow. Should probably get off. Yeah, I mean, I still know what like makes a good list or an easy list or what's doable, and still interesting to look through them sometimes. But yeah, definitely. I definitely stop myself. That's one of those things I've definitely had to like cut. I'll still do like most shit in a game, but it's more for the sake of immersion or just because I'm interested in it. I find myself looking at a trophy list and I'm like, oh, I could do this one. I'm like, nope, need to cut that attitude because that's time I could be spending on another game. But yeah, we might start another game tomorrow, or we'll just do movies. So keep an eye on the Discord. Either gonna do some surreal shit or do like falling down. Maybe something totally different. Depends on who's around. If I do a game, it'd probably be Metal Hellsinger, Citizen Sleeper. I could do like a couple, right? I could do like Coffee Talk and Metal Hellsinger. I think Coffee Talk's been around a bit. I'd like to kind of focus on stuff that came out this year if I'm not gonna play like Gifted Ship. But yeah, if we did anything tomorrow, it'd be something that we could fit in tomorrow, and at most wrap up the next day because we got the VGAs. So if you want to talk about the VGAs, mostly negatively about them, jump in 6:30 CST. I'll be streaming an hour before that, probably maybe 30 minutes. Depends on if they're having a pre-show or if that is the pre-show start. So 6:30 CST PM, of course, on the 8th. We'll talk about the announcements. Restream it. As usual, I'll be deleting it afterwards, though, because they're probably going to have, like, Lars up there or some shit. God knows. Yeah. Appreciate you guys. Other than that, yeah, it'll be a mix of multiplayer stuff over the month, and then stuff that came out this year we just knock out. That seems interesting to me. Yep. Adios.